Hi. If you haven't watched my intro video, in which I talk a little bit about myself and my journey, go ahead and click on it. It's not long, and it will give you an idea of what to expect from this channel. If you don't want to, we can just jump in to the 7 laws of the universe, because I want to ease your suffering. like with everything, every single video is going to have the same goal, to ease your suffering. And the 7 spiritual laws, because this is not science, you will find different results online, and they're not going to be unified. You're going to most likely find the 12 spiritual laws of the universe. And when I have, it made sense to me. 12 was a nice round number, 12 months of the year, 12 pairs of ribs in a human body, 12 clock cycles and things like that. Cards in the deck, the face cards. But then as I started, reading about them, I realized that 3 completely overlapped each other, and the law of vibration and attraction were not unified but separate, which made no sense to me. So I seeked further, and I stumbled upon Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes thrice the Magnificent. It's a figure, historical figure from Greek Hellenistic period, and he had, I think he was a combination of Hermes, Greek god of communication, and Egyptian god Thoth. He was a god of wisdom, and he had these 7 principles that shape reality. And that was the inspiration for the 3 initiates, as they call themselves, who in 1908 compiled these 7 principles into an enigmatic book that became the occult classic called the Kybalion. And it deals with the nature of reality, consciousness, and the cosmos. And it's separate basically from any religion, but it's inspirational to all modern spirituality. And then I came across a little revised version of these 7 Hermetic principles in Bob Proctor's 7 spiritual laws. So I think I can agree with Bob Proctor in these 7 spiritual laws. So I'm gonna start with the first one. I don't know where you are, but I'm in Malaga, Spain, and it's about 37 or 38. It's going to be 40 degrees Celsius. I assume it's global weather talk. This heat, I mean, it's just I never used to use air conditioning, and today I just put it on, and I'm not switching it off, so it's bad. Anyway, let's start with the first one. The law of vibration and attraction. They're combined. At a microscopic level, everything is in constant motion. We know that from physics, waves, atoms, sound, and light. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the universe, think of it in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And, you can see that, you can witness this law a million times a day. Somebody enters a room and the room shrinks, or the energy just becomes so expansive and beautiful, and everybody's happy all of a sudden. So depending on the vibration of that one person, like one rotten apple. So basically, I'd like to think of it more in Abraham Hicks's terms. When Esther Hicks channeled, she said that we humans are like radio receivers, and the universe responds to the signal we're offering. So when we are aligned, joyful, creative, lighthearted, loving, peaceful, easygoing, and all that, the universe mirrors that to us back by bringing us what we need, It puts helpful people on our path. You know, we overhear a conversation with a chunk of information that we were seeking, and now everything makes sense to me. Like we get a, and then, you know, when we're driving, we get green lights, we get a parking spot right when we need it. It's just, you know, kind of like smooth sailing, you know. Needless to say, when we are vibrating low in fear, anger, despair, or other heavy emotions, that gets unfortunately mirrored back too. So now, the important part of this, you will come across, this is where I really struggled, and I did a lot of spiritual bypassing. You will see a lot of these tarot readers and spiritual coaches and life coaches and whatever. They're going to all wear these shirts or, you know, have these little mugs, high vibes only and stuff like that. I hate that. You know, I really hate that, because that's not life. That's just plastic. Yes, there is a part that says fake it till you make it, you know, see yourself as a millionaire and you will become one, but that's completely different. This is, we're talking about emotions here. So all emotions are God-given to us to be felt. Even despair, which is the lowest on Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale, which I really strongly suggest you check. It's gonna be a lifesaver for you. So we were meant to feel them, because if you don't feel despair, your heart won't crack open and you won't allow any help in, and things like that. It happens for a reason, right? What we should not do is swallow them, like I have, you know, turn them into, like, you know, we're sad and then we turn it into anger, and anger stays for 20 years like I have, things like that. Be defined by them and kind of like be lazy feeling them, and feeling helpless for, let's say, I don't know, 5 days or something. That makes no sense whatsoever. So emotional guidance scale, in Abraham Hicks terms, what it's going to do, what it says, it's really cool to say that, okay, if I'm hopeless, it's right here, and I cannot fake myself up to being excited and loving, right? I just want to get by a little higher than I am now. That's natural. That offers no resistance, right? So what is the next one? Hopeful or angry. Angry is better than hopeless or desperate, right? So you go into anger and you feel it and you're like, you know what? Because anger gives you this energy, and anger says, okay, now it's time to take action. Anger is good for that. It's action oriented. Then you don't stay in anger. You say, okay, now I'm going to go accept it. And then I'm going to go seek solutions and how to get out of the situation or whatever. Okay? So this is what we should do. So this scale is going to help you raise your vibration in a most natural way with feeling your emotions that are God-given. Don't skip them. They're there for a reason. Okay? So once we understand this law, we're not allowing outside external circumstances and what we see as a mirror to dictate what we think and how we feel inside. But we start to live from the inside out. And we focus, we choose the thoughts that we want, we accompany them with feelings that we want, and that we change our vibrational field and attract the desires that we want. And we do that gently with ourselves, okay? Don't hit yourself over the head because you are in anger for 5 days. Okay, but be aware that you are angry for 5 days and say, this should stop. What is the next emotion up that I can do? Can I accept this finally? Can I let it go somehow? You know, this is how we raise our vibration, not by wearing a shirt, good vibes only, right? So this was the first law. The second law is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Now, in physics, we know this. The energy is conserved and transformed. So it's neither created nor destroyed. It's only transmuted, right? In its ordinary processes, you know, mechanical energy becomes heat, electrical energy becomes light, and but the law of perpetual transmutation in spiritually teaches that energy, and that includes the non-physical one, always moves into physical form. So, for example, heavy emotions like grief can be transformed into writing a book. This is what I did. I wrote a memoir. I've been editing it for 6 rounds. I have now found a developmental editor, and he's going to give me the 7th round, if not even 8th. And then when I found my agent, the agent is going to give me the 9th probably, if not the 10th. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a long and arduous process, but I'm growing through it too. And this is how I transmuted grief. This is how I found the answers to many questions. And grief, pain, confusion, a lot of emotions that didn't sit well with me were transmuted into this memoir. So in literature, we can have an example of Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. This is basically the transmutation of energies, the alchemy. So Santiago learns that nothing is wasted, because even fear, loss, and uncertainty can be transmuted into strength and insight need to reach one's personal legend. Eminem is great. I mean, he's my favorite example here in music. I mean, how poverty, neglect, shame, anger, and rage. I mean, he was so emotionally malnourished. The father left, mother was inapt to show any love to children. She didn't even have it for herself. So he transmuted all that rage into powerful self-expression, and it resulted in artistic success and emotional release. Imagine if he didn't. All this energy would not be destroyed, but he would implode probably, and it would be transmuted into something very destructive. What's up? I have a dog who is antsy. But we're not going out into this heat. No. We're not going out into the heat. So, if you're struggling, you should create and transmute the energy through any medium and channel. And don't give me, I'm not a creative person. Bitch, you were born a creator. You are co-creating the life you want with the universe. A spark of the divine is in each one of us. Everybody has got the same formula to succeed, right? So you just don't know what's your channel, what's your medium yet. Go take apart a clock or something. Go, I don't know, pick up a mechanical magazine, see if there's anything there for you. There's got to be something in this life that lights your fire. And if that's gardening, if that's talking to plants, whatever the hell it is, if it's writing horrible poetry that nobody will ever read, you still transmuted the energy onto paper, or rage. Maybe you're writing freestyle rap like I have for a moment. It's like da. I got my own little rhyme, and I transmuted that rage. It's not in me anymore. So find your medium, transmute energy. All right. 3rd one, law of rhythm. This law says that life moves in cycles, waves, seasons, rises and falls. Science shows this in cyclical patterns of nature, from planetary motion to circadian rhythms, ecological cycles. But spiritually speaking, it's a little bit different. It's more practical. Like we can have a productive week and then a slow one. So rhythm, the law of rhythm, stop it. The law of rhythm says that both are a part of the process, and neither should be neglected nor looked upon as, unnecessary. So I'll tell you, personally how I got this. Personally, when I decided to clean up from drugs, first it was cocaine and, I don't know, MDMA, weed, whatever. Shut up! I'm talking to people. Come on. I was judging myself at first because I had relapses. And I would go back, I would call a friend, I need something, I would go from one city to another to get a gram. It's like, it was a constant struggle of like trying to break free, but I was like, okay, good, I was sober for 2 weeks, and then I was sober for 3, and then And I kept on judging myself. I remember feeling really shitty, and there was guilt and shame, constantly guilt and shame, for me not being perfect in that sense of healing. Like, okay, I'm not clean all the way, and it's been, I don't know, a year. And then I remember I read somewhere, what you resist persists. And I said, okay, so I'm resisting this not being perfect, like I can't understand how I can do it. And the more I did it, the worse it was. I mean, the more cravings I had. And then I just let go. I said, okay, fine. You need it, you go get it, whatever. But you know that eventually it's going to stop. And it has. The moment I moved on, I said, you're doing your best, less and less you need it. Eventually today, this is, I don't know, years, I stopped counting. Years after I snorted a line of Coke, or even I had a beer today, and I was like, ugh, I can't do alcohol anymore. It's just natural, it's not like I'm trying to drink. It doesn't go, it just, I don't resist it anymore. I'll order it and I'm not going to like it because I don't resist it anymore. So accept that part. It's a law of rhythm. Don't judge yourself. And often life will test you the most right before the dawn, right before this breakthrough, that just happens. The point is to accept what's happening and just be like, this too shall pass, it's gonna pass. It's fine. This rhythm is, go with the flow, even when the flow is shitty. So that's that. Fourth one is raw relativity, and it has nothing to do with Einstein's theory of relativity. It just says that experience is relative to perspective. So everything is relative. Nothing is good or bad until we compare it. And then when we compare it, we give meaning to it. So COVID is a great example here. For many people, I remember everybody was so negative about it. There was fear. Maniacally going to the stores, buying 2 million rolls of toilet paper, stacking it up. I think Larry David has an episode in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's a hoarder, where somebody stacked up like 3 rooms of toilet paper. So, fear, greed, there's going to be a lot of things came up that were based on fear in those times. And everybody started looking things differently. Oh, how many people got laid off the job, and I think I'm going to be next, and I don't know. And then they're like smoking double and everything because, there's this big possibility of him getting fired. And I'm like, do you even like your job? Or you just sleepy there, like you have no clue what the hell you want to do? I mean, yeah, it's going to shake up the status quo, but is it really that bad? Did you really love your life before COVID? For me personally, I'll tell you, it was a trigger for the best thing that ever happened to me. I started meditating during COVID. I got reflective. I went deeper into myself and came to some truths that helped me transform. And everything started from COVID. My whole life changed. It was like a snowball effect, and I could not be happier. The only thing I actually lost was my aunt during COVID, but she wasn't vaccinated. She refused, and she was the anti-vaxxer. And when she got it, she was hooked to a respirator for a month and didn't make it. But that's the only thing that I could say I really lost. Everything else I gained. I got my new life, from COVID. So it's really, really about the perspective. Here, I'm not going to go deep into politics, but I'll touch upon a little bit because I have to. It's a great example in political terms. In times of leaders like Trump, Netanyahu, or Putin, whom I call the old earth, we might look at them like horrible, greed, oil, war, everything and all that. Yeah, it's not positive for sure. I'm aware people are dying and that there's ecological catastrophes and there's a chain of reaction and everything that they're actually starting. But what if they're here to awaken and strengthen democracy like never before, to unify everybody? What if they're here to make us really remember the freedoms that we had and to give birth to a whole new breed of world leaders. What if they're to awaken this, And this, what I've just told you, like this blessing in disguise, as they could be, actually beautifully slides into the next law. And the next law is the law of polarity. So this law says the opposites are two ends of the same thing. Not only states that everything has its opposites, but that opposites are part of the same spectrum. So science does not treat polarity as a spiritual rule, but nature does contain oppositions and ranges, hot and cold, attraction, repulsion, grief and joy, contraction, release, north, south, east, west, strong, weak, because how can you know one if you don't know the opposite of it? It's basically they're like the definition. So darkness and light are not enemies in the human story, and nothing is black and white. In every single person, you will find a blend of a beautiful husband, great company director, and a most horrible cook in the world, and or great sportsman who lacks compassion. Like there's got to be something within somebody that will make that person not to the extreme pole on one side. So it's very natural, right? A parent can deeply love a child and make horrible mistakes because of its low sense of self or awareness and stuff like that. Someone can be loving and have a harsh side, and a person who seems all bad can still have kindness and loyalty inside of them. So this law really helped me forgive my parents, myself, and I think everybody. We have to remember it. It's just many nuances of the same thing. Sixth law is the law of cause and effect. In physics, it's the Newton's third law of motion, which states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. But in spiritual terms, it's a little different. It's popularly, but not always accurately, called law of karma. But it states that every action has consequences. So we know that. So simply put, we will reap what we sow. And this is the most interesting thing about this law is that we expect it to be instant. I don't know if you ever did something wrong, which I think we all have, but I don't know if we're aware of it. And at some point we're like, I got away with it, So you do another thing, and you repeat it maybe and stuff until it catches up with you. So you cannot escape it. It's the law. It's the universe. So most likely there's going to be a karmic cycle, and all those things that you've done wrong is going to smack you over the head, like it's going to be a big fat paycheck. So payback time. So it's inevitable, but down the line it's inevitable. You're going to get it back. So let's try to put as much as even in thoughts, even if you don't talk to someone, even if you are really, really angry at someone, try to see that there's got to be something good in them. They're not aware. Try to see something that when you think of them, have them physically far away. But when you think of them in fond terms, find something good, because you do it for you, do it for you. Why would you pay for a bad thought, for somebody else having a bad thought and bad things happen to you because you allow that person to kind of trick you into feeling bad, So yeah. And the seventh and the final one is the law of gender. Bob Proctor describes this as the creative law of masculine and feminine principles. Both matter in creation, meaning action and receptivity, planting and gestation, and they have to work together. In practical terms, you don't just force an outcome. You allow time, nurture the idea, and let it develop. So this is, in nature, you'll see sun is masculine, moon is feminine. Sun is the right side of the body, moon is the left. So let's say I'm writing a book, my memoir, yeah? I'm thinking about the book. I'm visualizing its pages. I'm thinking, it's going to be a memoir. How do I think? I'm imagining. I'm doing all these things. I'm going to sleep with a smile on my face and kind of calling it in, Then I wake up and my masculine side rolls up the sleeves. I get behind my desk, behind my computer. I start typing. I outline the chapters. I put in the work. And then I try to feel, I was quite disciplined when it came to, I would let's say, I would write for 5 hours a day. And then the rest of the day, I would have my feminine rituals. Meditation, yoga. Yoga was sometimes even yin, sometimes yang, depending on how I felt and what program I paid for. And long walks in nature, hugging trees. I even swam in the lake. So, because, I have a big dog. She's a golden retriever Swiss Shepherd mix. And even though she's not really crazy about these very, very extensive, challenging walks, she does like to go around the lake for 2 hours. So we do that daily, and we are up in the mountains, so we hike a lot. So I would have these receptive times, and I'd say this law of gender is definitely like quite connected to the law of rhythm too. You have your little ebb and flow moments. But yeah, sitting down and producing pages and then pausing and things like that. This can be applied to everything you do. It's kind of like baking a cake. You roll up your sleeves, you do the flour, you mix everything up, you put it in the oven, and then it sits, and then it gestates in its juices and stuff. Makes the kitchen smell good and everything, and then it's ready for serving. So, my feminine and masculine energies intermingled and produced a nice flow instead of burnout and overwhelm. You can go, a lot of people burn out because I have a lot of female friends who are in their masculine energy, and they're like, I'm going to go work in a bakery because I need more money, and I don't know, this bill appeared from somewhere. I'm like, listen, you're going to do more good for you if you just calm down and go meditate and stuff like that, and see if there's a better idea under calm circumstances, and not acting out of fear and going to roll your sleeves all the time, because that's eventually breaks your spine and produces burnout. There's got to be a better way, So try to balance your feminine and masculine with everything, Yeah. Okay. Well, this was it. We're already at 27 minutes. I don't want to make it too long. I hope I didn't bore you with these, but this is from my perspective, these 7 laws. Of course, you can go ahead and read 7 Hermetic Principles if you want to go deeper into it, or Bob Proctor's 7 Spiritual Laws, the ones that I did it my own. I used his basis, and then I try to show you through my whole life examples and my experience. So you're gonna have your own. You can have a little exercise if you want. If you open a Word document and have these spiritual laws, copy paste them or something from the web, and give yourself, like, write for each law at least one, 2, or 3 examples from your life where you can apply this law. I think it's going to help you a lot to accept certain things, to flow better in some situations, to forgive faster. They're really, because, we're humans, we have limited perception, and our little constitutions and little laws of the lands and our judicial systems and what we understand as unjust systems and things can really get to us, But when we know that we are part of something greater, and that there's always a reason that there's something is, you accept it. And it's much, much easier to live like that. So, until next time, which I think is going to be tomorrow, because I got a great new topic for you. Bye-bye. I bid you farewell.